to the GetRealWealth.com radio show, where wealth means a lot more than just building a second stream of income. Listen and learn how 70% of the millionaires in America used real estate to create a lifestyle that most people only dream about. A lifestyle that includes good health, family, romance, travel, charity, and all the other parts of a balanced life. Now, here is your host, real estate investor and mentor, Steve Davis.
Good afternoon and welcome to the show. As always, we're here talking about using real estate to build that second stream of income so that you can build the life that you truly feel is worth living. We talk about becoming financially independent with that second stream of income and not necessarily about retirement. But I do have an article here that I want to start the show off with that one of my CPAs sent me, who's also, I don't think he's a financial planner, but he does a lot of tax planning and things like that for his clients. And he was remarking about how I talk about 95% of Americans fail to retire, and I make fun of people who try to scrimp and save their way to retirement. You know, I use the extreme example of somebody that I actually knew used to count the times that they flushed the toilet so that they would know exactly what their water bill was, and they would not flush the toilet except at certain times to save money, as if that's going to get you to retirement, if that's really going to make a difference. It's just insane what people are doing, cutting coupons, trying to save their way to $1 million, forgetting that you have to make $1 million to save $1 million. You know, you have to make it if you're going to save it. You know, it's just crazy to me. But that's what's been sold to the American public, and they bought it for decades, for over 100 years that I can actually see. I guess I could research it past, and I bet it's the same even then. But this article is what happens if I really do run out of money in retirement. I'm just going to read this first paragraph. If you are worried about running out of money in retirement, you are not alone. Running out of money is the main concern of most people in or approaching retirement. And there is very good reason to be concerned. Very concerned. Here's why. Let me get to these statistics. Listen carefully, please. 83% of baby boomers in the lower income will run out of money in retirement. 83%. 47% of second lowest will run out of money. 28% in the second highest will run out of money. And 13% of the highest income people in the United States are still going to run out of money. The whole concept of saving your retirement leads to one thing: praying you die before you run out of money. That is not a good way to live. I'm not sure why you think that's a good idea, to save up a bunch of money and then retire and pray you die before you run out of money. I mean, that's really your business model? And remember, you're a business. Your family's a business. You're a business. You have income. You have expenses. It's a business, and you're supposed to run at a profit. Nobody's doing that. See, my students are building a second stream of income with real estate. Income that comes in month after month, year after year, decade after decade. Doesn't matter whether you live 10 years or 40 years after you're forced to retire or decide to retire. It doesn't matter because it comes in every single month. That's peace of mind. That's a peaceful retirement. Praying you die before you run out of money is not peaceful at all. This article, if you want to read it, you'll have to email me because the way that it printed, it doesn't give me the website. I assume it's newretirement.com, but I'm not sure. If you want this article, email me. It's asksteve@getrealwealth.com. asksteve@getrealwealth.com. Just reference run out of money in the subject line. Run out of money article, I guess, would be better. Run out of money article in the subject line, and I'll forward you this article. It's disturbing. It's disturbing what the American people have been sold, and I don't even understand it. Even at 27, I knew I never wanted to retire. I didn't understand it. I saw people who retired, and they were just waiting to die. You can say, oh, they travel. Who cares? I want to travel when I'm young and can enjoy it. I don't want to put off living till I'm old and can't enjoy it as much. Don't get me wrong. You still enjoy it, but getting old, as I've said a million times, sucks. You know, your energy levels are different. Your sex drive is different. Everything's different. It's not the same. I'm urging you, enjoy life now. Don't put it off. Don't take that sales pitch. Here, save X amount of money for the next 40 years and you'll be rich when you're 65. Who cares? You want to be rich now. Those financial planners are destroying your life by telling you to put off being wealthy till you're retired. And the other thing is, I'm not sure what type of person wants to retire and do nothing. I don't think that really exists, except the most lazy, selfish individual who doesn't want to do anything. And I don't mind calling them names because I have never met one. When I talk to people, and I'm mentoring people on what they want to do once they're financially independent, none of them go, I'm just going to sit around and wait to die, or I'm just going to travel. None of them. They all have goals to help and serve other people. A lot of them want to volunteer. One guy that I spoke with yesterday, he goes, well, my goal is to give $20,000 a month to St. Jude. That's his goal. And he will achieve it based off the conversation that I've had with him and the level of desire this guy has. He's got a burning desire to achieve that. So I'm sure that some of his time will be spent volunteering to help St. Jude as well. See, I can understand quitting your job to go do something like that. But quitting your job to just sit under a palm tree sipping Mai Tais in a different country because traveling's so cool, I don't get that. And like I said, I've mentored tens of thousands of people. I've never heard anybody that actually said that was their goal. But isn't that what they show you on TV? They show you that. The American Express commercials are the worst about it. They show the older couple on the cruise ship or walking the beaches of Greece, which of course is not happening, but that's the sales pitch they give you as if that's the goal. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about passive investing in apartments and how that works at Real Wealth Academy. This is the GetRealWealth.com radio show. You're listening to AM 700, the voice of Texas. Thanks for listening. Did you know that 70% of the millionaires in America used real estate as their main investment vehicle? You can and should have some real estate in your portfolio. This is Steve Davis, host of the GetRealWealth.com radio show. Starting with bad credit and no money at age 27, I began investing in real estate. By 30, I was retired. I will be explaining this at a free 2-hour introductory workshop this month. If you would like to attend, go to GetRealWealth.com. That's GetRealWealth.com. Thank you for listening. Welcome back to the Get GetRealWealth.com radio show. I'm your host, Steve Davis. The phone lines are open now. Do not worry about what I'm talking about. If you've got a question on a different subject, go ahead and join me. Get that question answered. You've got a question about some property you own, or you got a question about getting your first deal, wondering what financing is like, wondering what leasing is like. Any question that you have about building wealth for yourself and your family with real estate, give me a call right now at 281-558-5738. That's 281-558-KSEV, or email me the question and I'll answer it live on the air. It's asksteve@getrealwealth.com. asksteve@getrealwealth.com. And my email is open. The phone manager is open. I can see everything that comes through. So send me the question. I'll get it answered. We're talking now about passive investing. And passive investing is not for everyone. There's many of you that can and should operate your own property. Many people are out there jumping up and down that apartments. They're the best. They're the greatest. And I've always said that they were the best. But when I was saying it, I always meant they're a little bit better. A little bit better. Not what's going on in the marketplace right now. And what I'm noticing, and you've probably noticed it too, all of these guys saying apartments are so much better than single family happen to be getting commission off of the real estate deals. They are. I'm sorry, that's a conflict of interest. One guy, major guy that I really like, he's got a REIT, R-E-I-T, REIT, or however you say it, real estate investment trust that he's developing. He's going to become a billionaire. But he's just adamant to everybody that they should get into apartments. Conflict of interest, because he's trying to get you into his REIT. I don't think you should take the advice of anyone who's getting a commission off the apartment complexes that you are investing in. They have an ulterior motive. They can claim that it doesn't matter and, oh, that doesn't mean anything to me, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, but you're still getting paid to do the deal. Or in the case of this big guy, and there's multiple out there, they're putting together these huge commercial purchasing real estate investment trusts, and they're telling you, beating you to death, that single family is a waste of time and only apartments. Let me tell you something. I've invested in 4,000 units of apartments. I've invested in hundreds of single-family homes. My cash-on-cash rate of return in my single-family homes is sometimes triple what I get from the apartments. Is it more work? Yes. Is it that much more work? 3 to 5 times? No. I saw a proposal the other day for a deal with 5% rate of return for the passive investors. Not sure where that's coming from. Really? 5%. And we're telling them that's better than single family when I'm averaging 24%? No, wait a minute. 24 it's about 20%. Sorry. Let me correct that. 18 to 20% on my single family, and apartments are better. You might want to rethink that. But am I saying that houses are better? No. In fact, I think they're equal. There's not one better than the other. They're equal. because the single family, you work harder and get 3 or 4 times the rate of return. The apartments, you do nothing and you get 1/3 or 1/4 the rate of return. See why I say they're about equal? One, no work, hey, free money. And the other one, I got to work a little bit. But I'm telling you, 20 houses is about 6 to 10 hours a month. And you make $6,000 to $8,000 a month. There, just about anybody would be willing to do that. How many of you would work an extra 10 hours a month for an extra $6,000? Most people would. So, single family's great. Apartments are great. But to push, the way that these guys are pushing apartments down your throat, as if there's just no reason to bother with single family, what I'm noticing is every one of them is connected financially to you doing those deals. Now, for disclosure, when a person comes into Real Wealth Academy, have they paid me to get access to the Real Wealth Academy syndicators deals? Yes. So I've got an ulterior motive. The difference is I don't get any commission off of the deals once you're in there. So it's very easy for me to go, I would not do that deal if I were you. There's no financial reason for me to tell you to do it. You already paid me my consulting fee. In fact, I'm going to get a little pin, I think, that says Deal Killer and wear it. And that's what I'm there for, to kill the bad deals. Because I don't care if the deal goes down. I'm not getting a commission off of it. I only want successful deals done. So be very cautious of anyone who says apartments are the best. Most of them, everyone that I've found is either getting commission off of the apartment sales, or they're putting together a REIT and they're making millions, and some of them are going to make billions off of that REIT. So how does it work inside Real Wealth Academy? Now that I've said they're equal, why would somebody take a lower rate of return? Because they can get large chunks of money invested almost instantly. In other words, if a person comes to me and says, look, I got $500,000 and I want to get that working as quickly as possible, the answer is apartments. And that's what you should do. Because they can get that $500,000 invested in 1 year. If they walk in and say, I want to do single family, I'm going to explain to them it's faster to do apartments. But if they want to do single family, it could take them 5 years to get that money invested. And again, they would be doing a lot more work. So I guess I better explain how it works. A person comes in and they take my 2-day class, and it's really only a day and a half. We're done by noon on Sunday. You take my 2-day class, and I teach you the basics, 30 units and below. So single family, which is 1 to 4 units, small apartments, all the way up to 30 units are covered in that 2-day class. For the people who want to do big apartments, they actually upgrade and pay a consulting fee to move into large apartments, which requires a lot more consulting, a lot more education, a lot more classes, and so on. And you have 2 different levels. You have people who just want to invest passively, pay a consulting fee, and then you have the people that want to be trained how to be a syndicator, consulting fee. And those people then get together, and the syndicator finds the deal, negotiates the deal, and then gets with the passive investors, and they form an LLC. The syndicator puts up some money. The passive investors put up the lion's share. He might put up 10%. They might put up the other 90%. Then he takes that money and uses it to pay the down payment, the rehab, the closing costs, whatever the situation is, and buys the property, and the syndicator does all the work. The passive investors do nothing but show up to meetings, cash checks, whatever needs to be done on their end, which is almost nothing. The syndicator does everything. They're responsible for everything. We'll talk more after the break. This is the GetRealWealth.com radio show. I'm your host, Steve Davis. You can call me at 281-558-5738, 281-558-5738. Thanks for listening. 70% of the millionaires in America used real estate as their main investment vehicle. Listen to the GetRealWealth.com radio show to find out how you can do it too. Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. right here on AM 700 KSEV, the voice of Texas. Welcome back to the GetRealWealth.com radio show. I'm your host, Steve Davis. If you've got a question for me, give me a call right now. It is 281-558-5738. 281-558-5738. Let's go to email right now. Got a Richard here. He says, I have had opportunities to participate in both multifamily and single family. What is your current thinking? I got into multifamily a few years ago, and the returns were good, but not right now the returns seem low. My single-family deals are consistently getting 9 to 11% rate of return, and I have control. Thoughts? Richard, I actually like your strategy the best. When I think about myself, I had those 11 apartments, those 4,000 units that I was invested in as a passive investor, and I had single family at the same time. I kind of liked that strategy because it kept my head in the game. It kept my cash on cash rate of return average higher than everybody else's. So I kind of like the combination, Richard. Your point about the returns right now being low, well, we're in the up market. So yield plays are almost out. I haven't seen a good yield play. Good Lord, I can't even remember the last time I saw a good yield play. I've seen some moderate value plays, but again, we're in the up market. I think people need to be looking at devastated property that is destroyed, that needs massive rehab. We're talking massive value plays. I think those are the only deals right now that are working in apartments. This idea of going out and doing yield plays and making 3 or 4% rate of return, just crazy to me. Not worth it. If you can find a value play that does give you a good return, then by all means, that's where your money should go. But you're also successful at single family. Yeah, it's a good balance to have some of both. So it's like in my consulting side, I allow the people I consult to do both, and I recommend it like what you have done, Richard. So I hope that helps. I think what you're doing is right. And don't get in to multifamily if it's not got a good rate of return. And keep doing your single family and getting those high returns that you have control of. Okay, let's go to the next email. By the way, the email, if you have a question for me, email me. It's asksteve@getrealwealth.com. Asksteve@getrealwealth.com. You know how I joke about the fact that we make money in both the up and down markets and how we are actually always praying for the down market. Guess what we are right now? We're desperately praying for the down market. And what's happening is people are joining Real Wealth Academy because it's not if, it's when the next crash comes, they want to be prepared to take full advantage of it. And they are going to be ready. Okay, let's go to this next email from Ed. I have a paid off home and leasing it. And he says, great. I have a mortgage on the home I live in and paying an extra $5,000 in principal to pay off within the next 5 years. Okay, my interest rate is 3.75. You can run through the math on what is a better path. Can you run through the math? Yeah, Ed, this one's actually easy because this is the only principle that I can think of. Most everything in real estate is a rule. And what do you know about rules? There's always an exception. So there's exceptions, like I was just hammering away at yield plays. But guess what? There's a yield play somewhere that works, even in the up market. So there's an exception to the rule. With what I'm about to say, I don't think there's an exception to this rule, which would make it a principle. And the principle is you don't ever pay off your real estate. That's dead equity. If you're making, like the last email, 9 to 10%, why would you care about paying 3.75%? It doesn't make sense, does it? So, no, I would not be paying off my home. That's a very middle class and poor belief. What I would be doing is refinancing my home, pulling out as much money as I can, and buying as much rent property as I can, where I'm getting 10 to 20% rate of return. And that 10 to 20% rate of return pays for my home and gives me money for travel and gives me money for romance. Does that make sense, Ed? There is no reason to ever pay a piece of real estate off. Even, I know this is hard because the middle class thinks this is the right thing to do, even your own home. Again, why would you care about paying 3.75% if you're making 10 to 20% on your money? Triple what you're paying. You're making triple what you're paying. That means you're making 6 point whatever profit every single month. And then your home doesn't become dead equity. Now, do some people who are very successful have their homes paid off? Sure. But they still openly admit, yep, it's dead equity. Dead equity that should be making money for them and their family. But they're pinned in by that middle class belief that was ground into their head that you pay off your home. It's just they have trouble psychologically overcoming that belief, even though logic says it's not smart. So what I would do, I'd probably first, Ed, not probably, I know I would go refinance my personal residence, get out as much money as you can, get that all invested. 2 rent houses, 3 rent houses, 4 rent houses. Then, what do you do next? Go get that one you got paid off, that rent house you have paid off, and refinance it. Now, make sure you don't over-refinance it to where it's negative cash flow or even break-even cash flow. You make sure it still produces $300 or $400 a month cash flow. Then take that money and go buy 6 or 7 more rent houses. Or, if you want to move faster, refinance it and go invest passively in an apartment complex. So you've got a lot of choices there. All of them, it's heads you win, tails you win, Ed. You're in a fantastic position. Heads you win, tails you win, which is the best way to invest. So you're going to win either way, Ed. But yeah, I would definitely refinance my home first. take whatever proceeds I have from that, go buy rent property. As soon as that runs out, I'd be headed back to the home that's paid off, refinancing it, and investing till that's all invested. Okay, I hope that helps. Okay, phone lines are open, 281-558-5738, 281-558-5738. Okay, got a question here. I know who this person is. So do a lot of people. And the question is, can I just hire you as a consultant? I'm not going to give his name out. Can I hire you as a consultant without taking the 2-day class? And the answer is no. Everyone has to graduate that 2-day class because there's a lot of material in my 2-day class that is not, that I just can't consult you one-on-one. I hope that makes sense. I've got to get all that information into your head in a class, and that way I don't have to consult it or teach it in consulting meetings. So please come to the free introductory workshop first. Make sure that this is what you think it is and that it serves your family. If it does, then take the 2-day class and go on from there. To find out about the free workshop, go to getrealwealth.com. getrealwealth.com. Upper right-hand corner, it will say free workshop. Just click that and you can reserve a seat. I'm teaching one. The last one this month is this Thursday. There's no more this month. It's this Thursday from 6:30 to 8:30. And again, anybody that wants to see that, see how our mentoring works, go to getrealwealth.com. Upper right-hand corner is the free workshop. Okay, next email. Tenant non-payment of rent. This one's easy. I want to hear the sob story, though. This is from Raymond. I have a tenant who has not paid rent this month because she got into a car accident and is waiting to collect insurance. She texted me this today. I've not gotten a response back on when she will be able to make a payment for the month of February. This is pretty late in February. Any advice on how to approach this situation? Yeah, begin the eviction process. You are not a charity. I want you to give to charity, but you don't treat your real estate as charity. Go ahead and start the eviction notice. I guarantee you, Raymond, this is what's going to happen. She's going to show up with the money. I guarantee it. I'm assuming this is a tenant that has always paid on time, and she's just having difficulty because she got in a car wreck. She's got a relative, she's got a friend, she's got somebody she can get that money from. If not, she can go to the government and get it. Start the eviction process. That way, if she doesn't ever show up with the money, you've already started it, and you can get her out and get somebody else in there as quickly as possible. All right, this is the GetRealWealth.com radio show. You're listening to AM 700 KSEV, the voice of Texas. Thanks for listening. Did you know that 95% of Americans fail to retire by age 65 and 36% are dead? The good news is that here at the GetRealWealth.com radio show, we know what the other 5% are doing. 70% of them own real estate. We are a mentoring group for new and experienced real estate investors. We will show you how to build a second stream of income that will allow you to retire at any age. I will be explaining this at a free 2-hour introductory workshop this month. If you would like to attend, please go to GetRealWealth.com. That's GetRealWealth.com. Welcome back to the GetRealWealth.com radio show. I'm your host, Steve Davis. Let's go straight to the phone lines, which are open at 281-558-5738, 281-558-KSEV. We're going to the Woodlands now and talk to Arthur. Arthur, thanks a lot for calling in. How can I help?
Hey, hi there, Steve. I love your show, man. You know, all the tips you give. I love your show. Hey, so I've got 2 rental properties that are paid off. My primary residence, I've got a lot of equity in. I'm looking at my 3rd investment property. Should I like refinance my investment properties, or should I pull something out of my primary residence to buy?
Eventually, Arthur, if you have not, you've got a financial goal. And to move towards that financial goal, you're going to need to leverage those properties or refinance them. Whether you go to your home first or the rent properties, first is not really, it doesn't matter. It's just my preference is I always go to the home first. And, when I think about it, I don't really know the reason why. It's just I go to the home first because it usually has the bigger amount to it. So how much is your home worth? How much equity is in there?
I've got about $500,000 equity.
Good Lord. That's a lot of money, Arthur. So, I would head there first, then get that money all invested. As soon as that runs out, then I'd refinance those two paid in full rent properties the same way.
Is it a better tax break on your primary residence, or is it a better tax break on your investment properties?
Oh, that's a good question. I would assume it's about the same. But if you'll email me that question, I'll get with my CPA and find out.
Okay, great. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Arthur. And Arthur, keep an open mind with those big chunks of money like that. Apartments are faster. Remember, it's a little lower rate of return, but you can get it all. You can get it invested very quickly and move towards your financial goal very quickly.
That's right. I need to sign up to your website and come and come for one of your classes that you have.
All right. Please do. I'd appreciate it. I'll talk to you then.
All right. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, Arthur. Bye-bye. Right. Let's go to Crosby now and talk to Brian. Brian, thanks a lot for calling in. How are you today?
All right. Good. Thank you.
How can I help?
I wanted to see your opinion on, I have some land, and I was thinking about building new construction, some small homes for rental property.
I actually like the idea based on having someone on your team that is a construction specialist. They've done it in the past. They know exactly what they're doing, and they're the mentor side, if you will, of the construction. Do I ever recommend go ahead.
That's what I do for a living, is construction and in the petrochemical industry, and then recently I was a general contractor for my own home. So I'm just wanting to add some rentals to on that same piece of property, because it's like 6 acres and I'm only using 2.
Wow. Yeah, it can be good if you can get them built inexpensively enough. As a rule, though, Brian, you're going to get a higher rate of return for your money by buying existing property, because it costs, we're buying it $60, $70 a foot, and when you build it, you're paying $100+ a foot, so your cash flow is not as high on new construction as it would be on an existing property.
Exactly. All right. Thank you.
All right, Brian. I appreciate it. You take care. Yeah, it's very seldom, but this is a rule again, so I'll give you the exception. It's very rare that new construction of single-family homes is going to make you as high a rate of return as buying existing property. And if you buy them like I do, where they're disasters, and I fix them up and then lease them, it's not even going to be comparable. That business model will destroy the new construction business model. Where's the exception to this rule? I swear, a guy laid out a spreadsheet. He's building homes for about 78, we're talking 1,300 square foot homes, little 3-bedroom, 2-bath, for under $100,000. Brand new. That's lot, build out, everything. Under $100,000, brand new. Now, how's this guy able to do it? Because he built homes for, I'm not sure which one, we'll call it Pulte, built homes for Pulte for 20 years. He knows every vendor, every source. That's why he's able to build it for less than $100 a square foot. And that's the only exception that I know that I've ever seen, where it actually produced a really good cash flow. Very sharp guy. Okay, phone lines are open. 281-558-5738, 281-558-5738, or email me. And remember, my email is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's asksteve@getrealwealth.com, asksteve@getrealwealth.com. Okay, got another. This one's just asking to remain anonymous. It says, I'm a member of another investor club. Will I be allowed to? Oh yeah, of course. Of course. You can join my, of course. We don't disclose. I don't even know how to say this because it's so ridiculous to say it out loud. In fact, I don't see how anybody could ever possibly say this. You've got to be the most insecure, scarcity mentality individual on earth. There's a club that's threatening people if they join my club, saying they'll kick them out of their club if they join my club. God, insecure. No, you can join my club. No one will be able to find out that you joined my club. And absolutely, you're welcome. And yeah, that's all I can tell you. I know why you're worried, and I know why you want to remain anonymous. But that's their problem. Their insecurities, their scarcity mentality. My argument is, and I sent somebody to join Lifestyles Unlimited. I just mentioned it. I just sent somebody to join Lifestyles Unlimited last week because I believe that passive investors should have multiple fishing poles in the water so that they can find the maximum number of deals and be able to evaluate those deals and pick the one that's best for them and their family. And remember, it's not always just cash flow. There's many factors that go into it. So absolutely, you're welcome here, and it's something that I sell. It's one of my bright ideas when I was 27. I was a member of multiple groups. Now, some of them were just book and tape groups, others were 1-800 numbers, and others were actual groups in Houston, including the Realty Investment Club of Houston, Rich Club. So, absolutely, I recommend being a member of multiple groups. All right, phone lines are open, 281-558-5738, 281-558-5738, or email me at asksteve@getrealwealth.com, asksteve@getrealwealth.com. Holy Toledo, I just got another email that somebody got threatened for joining. You know, you can't make stuff like this up. You really can't. Wow. Threatened if they joined my group. Amazing. Well, that's who you're dealing with, I guess. All right. Let's get to this next email. Long-term leases, good or bad idea? Never more than 12 months. The laws change when you go 2 years and above and gives the tenant more rights. You want to stay with a 12-month lease. The only time I do 6-month leases is when there's a special situation. Like I had one family come to me and say, look, here's my letter. We bought a house, but we're not going to be able to move in for 4 or 5 months. I said, okay, I'll put you on a month-to-month and just give me 30 days notice. And it worked out perfect. I do not do that unless there is a legitimate paperwork-based reason, such as job change, such as buying a house. I can't really think of any others I've ever done. But shoot for the 1-year lease. Don't go to 2 years or longer. Bad idea. Okay, the right wholesaling contract. This is from Parsa. It says, I've seen a lot of assignment contracts, but I don't know which is the right one. As a wholesaler, I'm going to protect my contract from being screwed over by another wholesaler or cash buyers that might go ahead and take the house themselves. And this person is Northern Virginia. Parsa, you got to go to an attorney. It's not going to be expensive. It'll take them less than 30 minutes to read through that and tell you what's good and bad about what the one you have and correct it. But get with an attorney. That's the best thing to do. All right, this has been the GetRealWealth.com radio show. Thanks for listening.
This has been the GetRealWealth.com radio show. Please remember that this show is for entertainment purposes only and should not be construed as legal, tax, or investing advice. Always get a professional opinion before making any investment decision. To find out about the mentoring and consulting at Real Wealth Academy, visit GetRealWealth.com and attend one of our free introductory workshops on real estate investing. That's GetRealWealth.com. Thanks for listening and have a great rest of your day.